All right, the new Soto story update just released. Let's go into the story journal and check it out. We have got, where is it? Is it the War Council? Is that the new one? I think it's this. The Wayfinder helps Patha weaken King Eparch's control. Play this chapter.
Oh, Wayfinder. I've missed our meetings.
Oh gosh.
I'm certain of that. How are things on the front lines?
The moment of opportunity has revealed itself. But there is much to be done before we can seize it. One of Isgarani's paths has found his way here. And he only seems interested in hearing from you. We are gathered at the war camp. Don't keep us waiting, dear.
Okay, head to the Astral Ward camp. Where is that? I'm guessing somewhere in Horn of Maguma. It is here. Okay. Back to Inner Mayonnaise. Another lovely day with Muck and Chat.
Another lovely day with Muck and Chat.
And the sultry demon lady in our head. Ooh. Continue story. Galrath the Undying.
Wayfinder?
Galrath? Didn't expect to see you here.
Didn't expect to be here, but somebody has to keep an eye on this mess for Isgaran, and it fell to me.
He still has his doubts, then?
Plenty, but you'll get to plead your case. Let's get to it.
Muck, did you check out the new CM? Not yet. Doing this first.
The last of our ensemble arrives. Good. There is much to cover, and our window will close if we don't move quickly.
What questions do you have, Wayfinder? What's the situation?
What's the situation?
The first barrier has fallen, so we can breach farther into their defenses to gain more ground. But more ground means more to cover, and we're stretched thin as it is. One way or another, we need more soldiers. Once we have them, we'll be able to pressure their last lines of defense as we prepare for an assault on the Citadel.
Can we get the Astral Ward's full support?
Isgaran's answer is no. We're still recovering from the Cryptus attack, and this is not our battle.
What happens here will affect Tyria.
That's why Isgaran has been kind enough to allow the volunteers to support you. If you want the full backing of the Astral Ward, prove to us that Patha can prevent the Cryptus from being a threat to Tyria.
Patha has already proved herself to...
Calm now, Ramses. He will get the proof he desires in time.
What about the local Cryptus?
Eparch's hold on this world is more tenuous than it may appear. My people fear him, but there are limits to the control that fear grants. What we need is someone that they respect. Someone they will follow, even against Eparch.
You mean General Nephus?
Who?
Who is Nephus?
I served under him myself for a long time. A brilliant strategist, fearless warrior, and a noble leader. Eparch has kept him quiet and contained, but he can't kill him. Nephus commands too much loyalty from the soldiers.
Where he goes, the masses will follow. It's time we track the old general down. This may take some time, but the war has widened, and there is need for your talents elsewhere on the battlefield. Gather what information you can as you assist our forces in the fight. Once he is found, I will have use for you again.
Check in with Ramses. We have an opportunity in front of us, Wayfinder. We'd best do what we can to squeeze every drop from it. What can you tell me about Nephus?
What can you tell me about Nephus?
I served under him myself for a long time. A brilliant strategist, peerless warrior, and a noble leader. Those things made him a liability to our gluttonous king. He couldn't be trusted to follow the more gruesome orders. Nephus commands too much respect to be simply disposed of. So instead, Epoch forced him into retirement. But he is watched closely. Epoch knows that any movement with the general involved would be a real threat.
Check in with Galrath. Wait, where did he go? Oh, he moved over here. No. They took that better than I expected. Still, it looks like you're gonna ask me something. Go on then, out with it.
What is Iskaran's plan if we fail?
The total destruction of Nyos and the Cryptus, most likely. It's what I advised in the first place.
He's like, nuke it.
We have no reason to believe they can be peaceful. And the risk, if you're wrong, is the destruction of Tyria. Better to not take that risk. You have too much faith in them. Far more than they've earned. But like I said, you've got your chance to prove me wrong. Better get to it. One last thing, Wayfinder. Isgaran is still allowing volunteers to join you here. The next group will be arriving soon. They're here because they believe in you, not Patha. Don't waste their lives.
I bet Zoja's gonna be in that group. Check in with Erina. No. I expected that Isgaran wouldn't want to commit more resources here. Still, at least we have a chance to prove ourselves now.
Aren't you eager to get back to Tyria now that the gate is open?
Of course. But I need to make sure that Tyria will have a future. And that means finishing this first. The front line is where I belong. Where I can do the most good. I'll leave when the war is over. Besides, Ramses and Patha saved my life. As long as they need my help, I have an obligation to offer it.
Will Patha's plan to convince the Cryptus actually work?
I don't know. So far. The Cryptus here have been beaten down for centuries. They must want change. Fear can only keep people under your thumb for so long. Especially when you start killing them indiscriminately. Living under Eparch may actually be a fate worse than death. At least with us, they have a chance to survive.
Before you go, would you make an appearance for our new volunteers? You're pretty popular, you know. I'd be honored. Is she tall or are you small? Yes.
Look alive, soldiers. The Wayfinder approaches. I've got a fresh batch of volunteers for you, ready to face the demon hordes.
Frode, you're an unexpected sight.
It's the guy that taught us weapon master training. He was like, just hold it, bro.
But I still never retreat. Besides, I needed to check in with our forward group, see how they were handling it. Triage is in order, troops are looking disciplined, and you've secured a solid foothold in the area. You've done an excellent job here, soldier. Couldn't have done it better myself.
Thank you, Warden.
Well, I need to get out into the field. But I'm sure Arena will be happy to get you up to speed.
Of course, Wayfinder.
I knew this place couldn't beat you. Too much of your mother in you for that.
Complete events in... Oh, wait, hold on. Complete events in Yedra surrounds to help Ramses scouts find Nephus. And then there's 2 green things over here. Hey!
Sorry, it's late.
Thank you.
Do you want the soy sauce bottle instead of the packets?
That would be less messy, yeah. If you don't mind. The food has arrived, chat. Let's see. Ramses has a bonus conversation. Is there more you would ask of me? I don't know if this is voiced. Has it been difficult to convince the Cryptus to change sides?
Has it been difficult to convince
It's
the
voiced.
Cryptus to change sides?
A mighty struggle, yes.
Water.
Understand, it is not because the majority are loyal to the tyrant. They are not. The problem is one of fear, of terror. They have seen what happens to those who cross him. They don't yet believe we can protect them from his ravenous appetites. That's why we must show them that loyalty to Epoch is no shield from his capriciousness. He will gladly devour his own.
Do you believe that Patha can... Oh, wait, he's going to voice it.
Do you believe that Patha can keep Nios peaceful?
I believe in her quest for a new Nios, yes. Or I would not have pledged my horns to her. But can the Cryptis accept peace at all? That's a more heady question, isn't it? Epoch has ruled this place since your world was young. This is the only order the Cryptis have ever known. I believe a better path exists, but it has to be discovered, and then we have to travel down it. That will take time.
Bertrie says, does Lady Luck have a Russian accent since you mentioned she's Russian? Her family fled the collapse of like the USSR and stuff like that. So she was raised as a what is the word? Refugee, I think, in New York. Her sister was like 5 or 6 or something. She was little. Like at the time that her family came over to the United States from, fleeing from that, like she was little. So she grew up learning Russian. Like she'd speak Russian at home and then like English in like school and outside of home and stuff like that. So she learned English from a very young age. So she is 100% fluent in English. If anything, I would say her, like, she can speak Russian, but I would say her English is probably better than her Russian is. Because when I see her, like, reading Russian, it seems like it's slower than when she's, like, reading English and stuff like that. Or, like, talking with people. So, she's completely fluent. Check Lucent Crystal prices. Did it go up? It was 30-something earlier. It's gone from like 32 to 38. What food you got? Panda Express. My wife is treating me today. Well, I say she treated me because she went to get it, but I mentioned who paid for it earlier. All right.
Who else besides Nephus do we need to account for?
Epoch has a few other generals he can still call on, and all of them are vicious creatures in their own right. We've heard talk that Queen Labris might be slithering out of the Citadel, which would be a significant escalation. There are also the twin generals, Alcaeus and Xantheron, but Epoch likes to keep them close for his own comfort. Let us hope it stays that way. I've seen the horrors they are capable of when their reins are removed.
Alright. Galrath has more information.
Isgarin is too skeptical of Patha.
Your misunderstanding is Garen's concern. Would Patha be less of a threat to Tyria than Epoch? Almost certainly. But how many Astral Ward lives
10
will it cost
months.
to roll
Let's
those
go.
dice?
Anyway, have a pun. What did the grape say when it got crushed? Nothing, it just let out a little whine.
I haven't heard that one. Galrath says, your misunderstanding is Garen's concern. Would Patha be less of a threat to Tyria than Epoch? Most certainly. But how many Astral Ward lives would it cost to roll those dice? If it had been good news that needed delivering, would Isgaren have sent me to do it? Alright.
You're staying in Nios?
As long as I need to. I'll be keeping an eye on things and sending reports back to the wizards. You know how this works. Show me that our soldiers are in good hands, and you'll get the resources you need.
That's all for now. Alright. Okay, zoning out. The new weapon and cheese you can buy in Warby World. Yeah, but I need to see how to do it, like, properly so I can make a guide on it for people who need it in the far future that don't have World v. World currency. Okay. So, At this point, I am going to take a little lunch break here, and we will be back in a little bit to continue this.